Okay, guys. Once again, welcome back to our online class that is MEG 3 British Novel, Book 8. Okay, and we know that in Book 8, the novel is A Passage to India, which is written by Edward Morgan Forster. And for our listeners, we'll call him E.M. Forster. Okay, E.M. Forster. And he's a very eminent writer. You may be knowing him, heard about him. Okay, so the title of the novel is A Passage to India. Okay, so right from the title itself, you may be getting an idea that today we are going to deal with a story, a novel about India or something happening in India. And but never mistake this particular novel as an Indian writing. This is that is this written by an English writer, that is E.M. Forster, and this is an English writing, British writing, which has been included in the British novels. Okay, though the whole thing is being set in India, and we may find that some of the settings of this novel is being set in England also, but mostly the whole thing is happening. The whole story or the whole novel is being carried on in India. Okay, and let's see about it. And let me tell one more thing about this novel, that it is selected as one of the 100 great works of 20th century. Okay, so let's see. So as I told you, it's written by E.M. Forster. His full name is Edward Morgan Forster, and this particular novel is being published in 1924. Okay, and actually, E.M. Forster has started to write this novel just after the First World War, but he could finish it off in only 1924, and he took a long period of time to finish this particular novel. And we can find that this novel, you have to see that this novel is being published in 1924. Okay, but actually this particular novel has started writing, that is, the writer has started writing this novel at the time period of just after First World War. Okay, and see, we can say that this is a historical as well as a psychological piece of fiction, and also it shows some realism in it. And so it's a mixture. Anyway, it's a very interesting story, and as it is related to our own Indian culture and Indian happenings, it will be more interesting for you and easy to understand also. And the narration is in third person. Okay, then the whole thing, okay, as I told you, is set in India, and that is in a village, a fictitious area or a fictitious place which is being made by our E.M. Forster, and that area is known as, that is the village. A village is being created, that is a fictitious village. It is known as Chandrapur. Okay, Chandrapur. And actually the river Ganges is there moving, so we can see that it's now we can just situate it as the area of Patna. Okay, anyway, the novel actually starts in the early 20th century, and when India was under British Raj, that is in the colonial rule. Okay, and it brings about a kind of interaction between England and India, the cultural interaction and people, the mingling of the people, the interaction between the white people and the indigenous people of India, or the Indian natives at the time of 20th century. Okay, so this is being picturized here. We can see that interaction between them, and you can find that actually by reading this novel, if you're taking the piece of novel, original novel, then you can get a good idea about what all things happened in our 20th century in India when British Raj was going on in India. Okay, and we can find that the novel, it looks at the whole experience of colonialism from the point of view of a colonized. Okay, actually it is written by, it's not written by an Indian, it has been written by a colonized or an English person. So we can see, let's see that what's the perspective of a colonized person. But the difference is that, see, whenever we tell that, yeah, a British person at the time of colonized colonialism, we feel like, yeah, he's a harsh, he's a very cruel person and all. Yeah, there were such people, there were such officers who has subjugated us, who has actually tortured us, coming to our country and making rule over us and all. But Ian Forster is a different type of person. He always liked Indians. He liked the culture of India, and he admired our Indian culture, and he found a goodness in India. Okay, so to know more about E.M. Forster, so we should know that actually this novel is from the perspective of E.M. Forster towards India. Okay, so for that, to understand the novel more, we have to know who E.M. Forster is and what's his, what are his concepts and perspectives and all. Okay, so E.M. Forster, let us talk about the writer sometime. E.M. Forster is an English writer of 20th century. He's a person who traveled a lot all over the world. Okay, and his travel has given him a lot of experiences. Okay, a lot of experience about the a first-hand experience about the world, and he was such a person who took the things by experience only than making prejudice. So we know that many of the England or English Westerners, they believe that we Indians, along with all other colonized countries, we Indians are also savage people. We are uncivilized, uncultured, uneducated, and so see culturally so poor people. Okay, so this particular notion was the, as I told earlier, this particular notion was the greatest mask which was used, or we can say that it was the greatest technique used by the British people to actually to loot or to make profit out of the countries all over the world. So this notion gave actually those people who are living in England, who doesn't know all about what's going really. There were many millions of English people who had a good heart in them, and they believed that, yeah, their countrymen are doing. See, their Queen Victoria or their ruling government of English is doing such a good see the deed that they are helping the all over the world. They are helping the people, they are helping the needy. This such a good country we are, so they had such a notion, and along with that they felt that, yeah, see, all these people are, all these countries are uncivilized countries, and the people over there are not having any culture or any type of civilization of their own. So that was the prejudice of English people. So always what happened is that we were taken as a misunderstood way by the Englishmen. Okay, so this is a very see, this is the greatest problem which was prevailing at that particular time. And Ian Foster was such a person who couldn't take the things without experiencing. So he traveled to all over the world. He once traveled to India also. He came to India to work over here. Just traveling won't do the things. So he comes and he took a responsibility in the government. He worked here as an officer, and he started to mingle with the people all in India. And by this, actually, E.M. Forster was actually surprised to see that what all notions he had, what all things, or what all prejudices the English people are talking about are just prejudice. They are in a they have a misunderstanding about such a culturally rich place like India. Okay, so out of all the places all over the world where E.M. Forster went, he was attracted towards the culture of India. Okay, he was an admirer, a deep admirer of India. We can find it everywhere in his autobiography and all. We can find it. Okay, so he decided to write a story like this, that is a passage to India, to show the people, to actually to unveil the hidden things about India and what actually is happening in India, what is undergoing there. Okay, so we can say that Ian Foster is having an expression of secular approach here. And as I told you, especially towards the religions and cultures of people. He has a secular mind, and he accepted what is good, and he's not at all biased in his mind. Okay, whenever he finds it good, he accepts it, and whenever he finds if something is bad, it's not good what the somebody is doing, then he has the boldness to reject it and to openly say it, even if it is from his own country or his own part. Okay, so that we can see here that such a job is done by Ian Foster through this novel. And we can find that he was a humanist in all sense. Okay, and he knew that actually, as he's a person who had a lot of experience, who stayed back here in India, and he learned about the culture and the people all over here, he could understand by this that India is a place where there's a diversity of culture, diversity in religion, and diversity in everything than any other countries. So but Indians has got a goodness, a type of unity in them, a type of friendship, a type of oneness in them, even before the time of freedom. So this was the attraction which E.M. Forster had in him, in their culture, in our culture. Okay, so and he believed that, and also along with this he could understand a problem in our way of life and attitude of people, that people had a little bit of gap, some voids are there still to be uh, taped, or still to be actually removed between among the society of India, that in the name of religion. Okay, this was a fact which E.M. Forster could understand by Indians. So though they had, see, there are many religions, and when the name of religion comes, then people are a little bit selfish, and a little bit feeling of selfness is coming there. Okay, so there he could find a void in the among the people of India. So he was telling that if they are ready to correct that, then India will be wonderful thing. India would be a great strength which could not be reached, or which could not be broken by anybody in the whole world. And even he says that if India is being left like this, without disturbing by any other forces, And if India is being the Indians could have a feeling of oneness, where despite of all these religious concepts in them, they would be hiring up to a greatest position in the world. And obviously, we know that what is our problem in India, that always religion is a problem here. And we don't know how to admire others' religion and how to accept others' religion. And the wonder is that we are the only people who know how to accept other religion and how to be friendly to the other religion. Okay, it is there, but it is not there. It is there always, but it is not there sometimes. That's the problem. So that sometimes if we are just paving out, then we can become the best among all the countries. So this was the secret of, or this was the thing which E.M. Forster could understand about India, and he admired this culture of brotherhood, and the culture of that is unity among diversity in India. And so he wanted, see, always he looked at the Indian culture as a pious and rich culture, with all his piousness in it, purity in it, okay, and divinity in it. But he could find a culture, all the values in it, and he could compare a culture of East Western culture, which is materialistic and which is profit oriented and which is all inhuman and with debate of all the value values in them. Okay, so such a difference he could find, and he wanted to catch hold of, or he wanted to make shake a hand with the Eastern culture. So he wanted to, what to say, combine these two, okay, that Western and Eastern culture, and to make East Western good enough, and to make Eastern also more good, that which could take goodness from the Western, and Western which could take all the goodness and purity and values from Eastern culture. So this was the notion, and this was the concept or attitude of E.M. Forster, and he was in a need of friendliness. He was in a need of friendliness between this East and Western culture. Okay. So in your criticism classes and all, you might have heard of Edward Said and his concept of Orientalism and all. See, always Eastern people are being considered as savage, uncivilized, and the culture is being put down by the Western people and all, Western countries. So, and See, this is that's a prevailing issue. Always that's always been discussed and debated now, even till today. And at that time, that is at the time of 20th century itself, when people of let's see, people, Western people could come over here and they could taste the goodness of Eastern culture. They were well attracted towards it, and many of the writers like T.S. Eliot and all, we can find that they were very much attracted and had a good acquaintance with many of our writers like Rabindranath Tagore and all. And also T.S. Eliot was a person who always loved to about the culture which is being hidden in the Hinduism and the mythologies, all these things, and he always had an attraction towards it. And another one is W.B. Yeats. He was also with a good acquaintance with our Tagore, and also there was a link between the people and of India and especially India, okay, the people of India and people of English people, okay, not only England, Ireland, England, and even in America, we can find that Walt Whitman, he was a person who was attracted towards Eastern culture, and he has written a poem called, up the Passage to India. and this is A Passage to India, the novel. And the title of this novel, that is A Passage to India, it is being taken from the collection of poems written by Walt Whitman, as I told just now. Okay, so there's a poem, a collection of poem called uh, Leaves of Grass. Okay, Leaves of Grass, written by Walt Whitman, and in that he has written a poem called The Passage to India, and that particular title is being taken and made A Passage to India by E.M. Forster and has put here for his novel. Okay, so it's a borrowing from the work of Walt Whitman, an American poet. Okay, so all these people were attracted towards our culture and they were behind our culture. They need a friendliness as a solution for all the great issues which were prevailing in the Western culture, and so they need take and give and take of the culture of the two cultures. Okay, so let's see how far in this novel our E.M. Forster has got, then he has showcased the Indian culture through this novel. Okay, so let us see. Before that, let me tell you something about, yeah, the character. Okay, the characters of the novel. So if you want to write it, you can just write it. See, the characters are the main character, the central character, or we can call him as the protagonist of the novel, that is Dr. Aziz, okay, in India. So before that, let me tell you one thing. The whole thing is set up in a village called Chandrapur. It's a fictitious village, okay, made by E.M. Forster. And the character, let's see the character. So, Dr. Aziz in the village Chandrapur, he is a Muslim. He's a Muslim Indian physician, a doctor, and he has got three children, and he's a widower. Okay, his wife is dead, and a kind of he's a kind of ordinary Indian Muslim man, and he respected every culture. He regardless of the religion, he could make friends with all. He accepted everyone. Okay, he is such a nice person, which we can see in this novel, and he had no inhibition in making or in giving hands to anybody, whether regardless of religion or regardless of the nationality. That is whether it is Indian or white. Okay, that we can see here. The next character is Cyril. Cyril Fielding. Cyril Fielding. Okay, Fielding. Fielding is a character. He's an English person. Okay, he's a British person, but he's unmarried. He's a British headmaster of a government college, and we can see that he's a very close friend to Aziz. That we can find here. Okay, and he's a very good-hearted person, and even we can find that E.M. Forster, the writer, is living through him, okay, in this novel. That is Cyril Fielding. Then comes a girl, a British beautiful girl, that is Adela Quested. Adela Quested is a British school mistress, and she is a literal woman who thinks good about Indians. She likes Indians, and she was in that is enthusiasm to see the real India. And she comes to India to visit India and see real India, and also to see her fiancé, to whom she's been betrothed, that is Ronnie. Ronnie is so she's coming there to see her fiancé Ronnie, and also to see, more than that, she was very much eager to visit India and see, watch and wander India and understand the real India. Okay, and Ronnie, who is the fiancé of our Adela, he is a typical British officer with all the cruelty in him, with all the prejudices in him about the Indian and Indians and their Indian culture and way of life and all. He feels that Indians are uncivilized and they are not a people which good to be mingled with, and he don't like the interaction with people of India, and he once he says that he is not in India to be kind enough, but to be to for more worthy purposes. Okay, so he's telling this in the novel. So by this dialogue itself, we can understand how he is, what a person he is. He's very harsh and he's very much indifferent to the natives of India. So that is Ronnie. Ronnie, his full name is Ronnie Heaslop. Okay, Heaslop. Then, so there's Ronnie, Ronnie's fiancé, and Ronnie is working here. He's an officer. He's a British. Ronnie is a British city magistrate who works in India, and the city magistrate of Chandrapur village. And he is, as I told you, he's very cruel and all, and he wanna actually he is his mother is also coming with Adela. Okay, so he's staying here in India, and Adela is coming from Britain or England to visit Ronnie along with the mother of Ronnie, that is her would-be mother-in-law, and her name is Mrs. Moore. Mrs. Moore is a very good personality. That is, she's an embodiment of kindness, and she's an embodiment of, we can say that she is a representation of all the good people of Englishmen who who has who has got the goodness in them, the goodness of Western culture. She's the embodiment of the goodness of West, all the goodness of Western culture, we can see. Okay, and she is a mother of three children, and she comes with her daughter-in-law. From there itself, we can find her kindness, isn't it? And she accompanies her daughter-in-law, and also she is here to visit and see her son. And more than that, she also was longing to see the people, to mingle with the people of India and how the culture over there is. And she's such a good person, which we can see very decent in kind, decent with kind. Okay, so these are the main characters, only these characters which you have to take in mind. That is five characters: Dr. Aziz, Cyril Fielding, Adela Quested, Ronnie Hayslop, and Mrs. Moore. Okay, Adela is the fiancée of Ronnie, and Mrs. Moore is the mother to Ronnie, and these two ladies, that is British English ladies, are coming to India to visit India and also to visit Ronnie. Okay, but Ronnie is a very indifferent to the Indian natives, and he has got all the prejudice and he's cruel to them. Okay, and then we can see Fielding and Dr. Aziz. A very thick friendship is going on with them, and we can find how it is being constructed, how the things are going in the novel. Okay, so let us see that, as I told you, being a British subject, that is E.M. Forster is a British person, and he had in him a lot of prejudice about Indians, and he had a lot of quest about Indians, but he heard that Indians are uneducated, uncivilized, and savage people and all. And once when he came to India, all his notions are all his impressions about Indians changed. Okay. And he got attracted more towards us. That's the thing which is happening. So this novel gives us a picture of India from his point of view, that that the point of view is that though India is divided, though Indians has got a diversity in culture and religion in them, they have got a goodness, a unity, a strength in them. So that is the positive remark which E.M. Forster is giving towards we Indians and Indian culture. Okay. And let's see. So before getting into the novel, let me say that the whole novel could be partitioned into three. And the first part we can call it as mosque. The second part could be called named as cave, and the last part could be told as temple. Okay, mosque, cave, and temple. So, and it is being told that mosque represents Muslims, cave represents English men, and temple represents Hindus. Okay, so these are the three parts. So the whole novel is being set in three different stages, and we can find that the first part is happening around a mosque, an area, and then comes a incident in the cave, and then the last part we can find that the thing is going around temples or in a Hindu area. So this is the three parts of the novel. Okay. Now let's start the novel. So the novel starts in the 20th century, as I told you. And we can find this 20th century India in the novel. And Dr. Aziz, the central character, is being uh, shown in the first scene itself, and the central character of this novel, is found discussing with his friends that whether it is possible for a friendship between Englishmen and Indian natives. So he is discussing with his friends in a talk that see Indians should have a friendly manner towards our British people or English people. See, not all are bad, many are good in them, and there are good enough people among them. So we can have a friendship among with them and all. So these are the concepts or which we can find that Dr. Aziz has got a notion that, yeah, we shouldn't take the British people with a prejudice that we shouldn't generalize them as all are bad or all are having the see um, all are having that cruel nature or the nature of exploitation inside them. There are good people also. Okay, so this was the conversation which he was doing with his friends, and Aziz feels that see that goodness should be taken, and though there are bad. Okay, so this particular attitude shows that Aziz is a person who has got the wideness in his mind, or is an open-minded person who has the mind enough to take the things which are good, or take the things in a open-minded way. He is not at all narrow-minded. Okay. Now that Miss Adela, so it's happening here, and that shows. Then we can see that Miss Adela Quested and Mrs. Moore, as I told you, they are the two British women. They come to India, so they have came to India. They are see Adela is being welcomed by the British people in India because she is the fiancée of the Chandrapur magistrate, and so that is Ronnie. And so she and her mother-in-law, Ronnie's mother, is being welcomed by the people. Okay, so and they say now we can see that at a mosque, see, there's a mosque outside, and in the mosque, not Ronnie, sorry, our Dr. Aziz, he happened to visit her as he was coming back from place. He happened to visit the mosque, and from there he could see that Mrs. Moore, an English lady, has entered the mosque. So, and he found that that lady is wearing shoes on her or chappal shoes on her feet, and she has entered the mosque. So he just shouted to her and told that, see, you can't use chapels inside the mosque. So uh, he just told it with his that reaction, but the lady, that is Mrs. Moore, she took it with respectfulness, and she just removed her chapel, sorry, the shoes, and she made and that particular incident, that she accepted that comment in a positive way, and that particular incident, by that incident, this Dr. Aziz and Mrs. Moore could build a friendship between them. Okay, so they found a friendship, and this particular incident, that is the reaction of Mrs. Moore, made Aziz to think that Seche, what he has done to a lady like this. So he was so friendly with her. He talked to her, and such a friendship was built among them. So it was a good piece of incident which happened. Then after that, we can see that um, uh, in a place, that is a party is being gonna planned. That is yeah. That is one second. Yeah, Mr. Turton. Mr. Turton is a local collector, and this particular person, he arranged a party at Chandrapur. Okay, he hosted a party at Chandrapur, and he invited a lot of people to this party. And this party is to welcome our Mrs. Moore and Adela. Actually, this party has been kept because Adela and Moore are in need of seeing the Indians, and talking to them and mingling to them, and they want to see them. Okay, so for that, this particular party is being conducted, and in this party, many of the Indians are also be invited. Okay, so the natives were invited to the party kept by the British people. Actually, by listening this, by getting this invitation, the people of India were astonished to listen that, see, British people are keeping a party and they have been invited. So they felt like something fishy, and they felt that, see, why they are, see, there will be something hidden agenda for them, out of which they will be making profit and all. Anyway, many of them went to the party. Many Indians came to the party, and the thing which happened from there is that they couldn't mingle enough in the party, because the people over there, most that is in the party, the Mrs. Moore is there, and one second. Scenery, Sujata. Yes, I downloaded actively. Thank you so much. Sorry. Okay. I'm really sorry because today my small one, the LKG child, she has got an online class. It's first time that she is attending it, so there's a little bit of confusion. That's the thing. So it's been started for LKG students also. So there's some confusions here. Anyway, sorry. I think we can understand my issue. Anyway, so please come back. Mm, yeah. So a party is being kept in at the house of by Mr. Turton, and this part, the intention of party is that Mrs. Moore and Adela, these both ladies are in need of mingling with. They want to see Indians and they want to see how these people are. So for this purpose, a party is being organized there. And actually, Mr. Ronnie, he is not having such a notion of mingling with Indians and all. So he was very little bit indifferent about this party. And anyway, so in the party, as it is been told that Indians are also invited and Indians has come to the party, but most of the people in the party, most of the English people in the party didn't mingle with Indians. They were cornered and they were marginalized in the party. Okay, but the only person who mingled with is Mr. Fielding. Okay, as I told you, Fielding, Cyril Fielding is a character here, and he's an English person. He's a British. He is a principal headmaster of a government college of English government college in India. And he is the only person who mingles with the Indians in a good way. And apart from him, Mrs. Moore and Adela, these two ladies also, they mingled with them. They started to talk with them. They gave a good attention towards Indians. And see, in this invitation, our Dr. Aziz was also invited with a special concern from the part of Mrs. Moore because she had a friendship with him from the mosque. Okay, so she has suggested to call him also, and Dr. Aziz is also there in the party. So here we can see that Dr. Aziz, he is being well taken by Mr. Fielding, Mrs. Moore, and Adela. So this particular group of these people became friends in that party, and actually, we can find that Cyril Fielding, he calls for a tea party in his own house. He organizes a tea party for this Adela and Mrs. Moore, another party. Okay, and in that party, he also invites our doctor Aziz. So, at the home of Cyril Fielding, the Adela, Mrs. Moore, and Dr. Aziz, all these three, and also one of the Hindu Brahmin person called Professor Godbold is also being invited to the tea party. And all these four, they enjoyed. Not four, five will be there. Okay, the guests are for Adela, Mrs. Moore, then Dr. Aziz, and Professor Godbold. See that Dr. Aziz is a Muslim and Professor Godbold is a Hindu, but these two are coming together in a friendly manner to the house of a British person, that is an English person, and they are becoming friends over there. And also the two ladies, that is British ladies, that is Mrs. Moore and Adela, are also accompanying in the party. So this tea party at Fielding was a very good, enjoyable party which went long in a very good mood. Okay. And in this party, when they were discussing about India, Indian cultures and all, see, Mrs. Moore always told Mrs. Moore and Attila were in a position to wander in India and they want to know more about India. they want to visit India as a first-hand experience. So Dr. Aziz, he put a proposal. Okay, he told that to everybody in that that all the five will go for a all the five will go for that is a picnic to Malabar Cave. Okay, so this suggestion was taken by accepted by all. This proposal by Dr. Aziz was accepted by all the other members, and they decided to go for a picnic to Malabar Cave in the next day itself. Okay, and Dr. Aziz, he arranges a guide over there just to get the guidance about the places and the caves of Malabar Cave, and all are planned to meet from there. And what happened is that the next day, um, so sorry, before that, so the party was going on, the tea party was going on in a very very making way from the house of our Fielding at that time. So it was going in a very good mood till Ronnie came there. Okay, Ronnie came there. Ronnie, the fiancé of Adela and the magistrate, the office magistrate of Chandrapur, he came there, and he was very much fierce in his character, and he was angry with Adela and his mother to mingle with these Indians in such a way and keeping a party and attending there. So his mood, his indifferent way, and his way of reactions towards the Indian people was noticed by Adela. Okay, so Adela had she started to rethink about the relation between herself and Ronnie. She could understand that Ronnie is not a good sort of person, or a good will not be a good partner for her, and he is not of her type. So, and she decides in her mind that she is not gonna marry him. Okay, she's gonna reject his proposal. So, this was the decision which she has taken in her mind in a bold way. Okay, because she just disliked the way how Ronnie was treating the people of Indians. And as Mrs. Moore, she is the mother of Ronnie, and when she watches that her son is reacting in such a bad way, and her son is her son is mingling, he's not mingling with the Indians in a good manner, so she just corrects him. So he answers his mother that he is not here to be kind. Okay, he is not in India to be a kind person, but he has a lot of other serious jobs to do here. Okay, so this was the answer given by Ronnie, the son, towards his mother when she corrects his attitude. So, by this itself, we can see that he is not respecting his mother. He is such a guy. Okay, anyway, as the plan was set, the next day, all of them, that is, all of them means Ronnie is not there. Okay, all of them, like Mrs. Moore, Adela, Fielding, then Godball, then Assis, all these five have planned to come there. They have planned to make a picnic to Malabar Cave. But and the plan was that all will come with a train, and the two ladies will be going by a car and all. So the ladies, they reached there, and Dr. Aziz was there with a guide. But unfortunately, what happened is that our Fielding and Godball, both of them lost their train, and they couldn't reach in time. So this happens, and but they missed their train. That is, Fielding and Godball missed their train, and so Dr. Aziz had to accompany these two ladies alone. With though the guide was there, so they accompanied with these ladies alone, and he and the two ladies are moving forward, and they had a ride on the elephants. They made picnics, they enjoyed the picnic, and then they decided to visit the caves of Malabar. Okay, and as they approached the cave, actually it was a hot weather at that time, and the cave, as they approached the rocky cave, Mrs. Moore could hear a lot of noise from the cave. See, a cave means a lot of echo will be there inside the cave. And as she was about to enter, she had claustrophobia because that sound was much disturbing for her and she felt dizzy, so she didn't enter into the cave. She just stayed back there, Mrs. Moore. Okay, and now that that is the three, that is Dr. Aziz, then Mrs. Moore, Miss Adela, and the guide, the three are entering to the cave, and they proceeds towards the cave, and inside the cave a narrow way was there, and as so Adela was thinking about Ronnie. Okay, all the way through this cave and all, she was thinking about Ronnie. He's such a wrong person. See, how can I marry him? I don't want him as my partner and all. So such feelings and such thoughts were there inside the mind of Adela, and she just decides that no, he's not a right person. Then when she he finds that. See, Dr. Aziz, he's helping her to get into the cave, and he's such a good person. So she just asked him that as Aziz was helping her to get into the cave and to walk through the cave, she asked him that whether he has got more than one wife. Okay, this was the question which Adela asked to Aziz. Okay, so this question itself talks a lot about the prejudices that Western people had about Indians, especially about Muslim culture and all. That all the Muslims are always marrying more than one ladies, and they don't have a fixed love towards a lady and all. Okay, so these are the wrong concepts which are taken by the misunderstandings or prejudices which we can find that all the Europeans are having, just like Adela. And Adela just asked him that whether you can have more than one wife. Are you having more than one wife? So by listening this was a great blow for our Aziz. He's such a good guy, and he just felt offended. Okay, his temperament was lost, and he felt that yeah, he's not in a good mood, so he just went away from there. Okay, he this question makes Aziz offended, and he goes towards the second cave just to get adjusted and to manage and recover his temperament. Okay, and after managing his temperament, he could understand that yeah, he's cool now. He comes back to the cave where Adela was standing and found that Adela is not there. So he was surprised to see that Adela is missing there. He wanders here and there, he searches for her, but he couldn't see her. So this was a great, he was totally confused and he was totally disturbed, and he got fear about what happened to Adela, and he just searched all over there, and as he moved out of the cave, he could find from a far place that Adela is running towards the out towards the car, and she meets the from distance. He is seeing that she meets the lady, another lady, Derrick, who came with Fielding. So Fielding and others has came now. They reached, though late, they reached the Malabar cave, and along with Fielding, the lady Derrick is also there, and Adela is talking something to Derrick, and Derrick and Adela. So he runs, and when he saw Adela from a distance, he runs towards her, and when he's found her. She didn't talk to him. She was annoyed, and she and Derek, both of them, left the place in a car, and they returned back. Okay, and they didn't tell anything. So this was a great surprise for our Dr. Aziz. He couldn't sort out the thing. What are things happening? What happened to Adela? See, she asked some question to him. Actually, he didn't react. Actually, he had a lot of anger in him. He was just felt offended, but he could, in order to adjust his temperament, he just went a little away. And as he came back, she was not there. That's the thing which happened actually. But all the thing has something weird is happening there. So he can't sort it out. Okay. Anyway, all the others, that is Godball and Fielding and Dr. Aziz, they returned back from the Malabar cave in a train. And as they reaches the station, mm, from the station itself, our Dr. Aziz is being arrested. Okay, so this was an astonishing one. What happened? So it was surprising for Dr. Aziz, and he could learn that the accusation is that he is being accused by Adela that Dr. Aziz has he has misbehaved with Adela from the cave, and she was sexually assaulted by him. Okay, this was the accusation, or this was the accusation which or complaint which Adela has given to the officers of English people, and they just arrested our Dr. Aziz right from the railway station itself, without asking any of his comments and all, and he is being arrested. Okay, so here itself we can see that, see, by listening the words of a girl, see, Dr. Aziz, who is an Indian, he's been arrested in his own country by this British Raj. See, such a discrimination could be seen here. His voice is not being heard by anybody. He tells that he hasn't done anything. See, nothing such things has happened in the cave. Actually, he didn't even touch her. He didn't even talk to her in a in any any way which would be problem for her. So such a thing doesn't has happened. So what the things are happening, he can't understand. See, such a mean accusation was imposed upon Dr. Aziz. Okay, and see, our Fielding felt that, Dr. Aziz can't do such a thing. He believed in the friendship of Dr. Aziz, and also he knew that Dr. Aziz is such a good person, and he felt that, you see, our Adela might have some hallucination inside the cave. That's why she is talking like this, and so he offended. He very openly defends the defends the British people and the government for arresting our Dr. Aziz. So he's the only English person who is defending against the practice of British government. Okay, so this could be seen. This is the see a reaction of Fielding. So here we can find the goodness of both here. That is both this white people and English people, that Indian natives here. Okay, one second. Hello. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, ma'am. Uh-huh. Okay, ma'am. Actually, the thing is that I am taking one online class. I'm in a session here. Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. I'll tell him. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Okay, sure, sure, sure. I'll tell him, ma'am. Actually, I'm doing a session here, ma'am. That's why I'm not there to manage it. Yeah, okay. Okay, ma'am. I'll tell him. I'll tell him. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, fine. Please pardon. 1 second. I'll just come back. Ikka, ma, ma, I said that. I said that. Okay. Sorry, guys. Today have got a little bit problems. Okay. So my child is not sitting properly in the class. That's a problem. Okay. So where we reached? Can you just remind me where we reached? Hello?
Dr. Aziz, after that, fielding, supporting.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that.
Okay. So Dr. Aziz has been, yeah, he is being arrested. Okay. And Fielding is supporting him. Fielding is telling that he can't do such a deed. He's such a good person. He knows it, and he defends all the things which government is doing openly, but nobody hears him. Okay, but the things are going in its own way, and the trial is being decided. So the trial for Dr. Aziz is being open, and at that time, this time, when the trial on Dr. Aziz has started, Atella was asked about the incident once more by the government of that is the British Raj. Okay, so this time, Adela confesses that she just thinks once again about the incident, and this time she was confused a little bit, and she could recall the thing in a correct way this time, and she says that actually nothing has happened. See, it was a hallucination. She was caught in with this. See, a lot of sounds were there inside the cave, and that particular situation made her a little bit dizzy, and in that she felt something like that. Actually, it doesn't happen at all. Okay, so nothing happened from there, and she confessed it. It was a fault from her side, and Dr. Aziz is innocent. See, by this time, Dr. Aziz has undergone a lot of mental and psychological issues and a lot of problems. A lot of prejudice and talks about him was going on outside. And but most of the Indians, that Indian natives, were actually in the part of Dr. Aziz, because all of them knew him and they believed him. And there were two groups of people. One portion who are who are for him, and the other who are opposing him. Like most of the Englishmen were opposing him and were accusing him, and others were the natives were supporting him. So such a issue was going on just because of such a girl who was not talking in a proper way. She was accusing, she was putting a accusation without thinking properly, and all this happened. Okay, so now Dr. Aziz, he felt very see, he was a little bit offended, not a little bit, much offended, and he got very much annoyed towards the whole British people. Okay, so he know that he is innocent, and nobody at the first, just think about the starting of the novel. He was telling that we shouldn't have prejudice about. He talks to his friends, isn't it? He talks that, see, we shouldn't have prejudice on the British people. All are not bad and all. But now he decides that he is not gonna believe any one of the British people. Okay, so this is the things happening, and as Adela confesses, what happens is that anyway, Aziz was left free, and all Indians were happy. All the natives were happy with the incident, and they began to celebrate. All the Hindus and Muslims all together. See, we can find a togetherness there. This is the togetherness which our field, the E.M. Foster was talking about, regardless of the religion, culture, diversity of religion and culture and all. These people are very happy with this incident of, see, Dr. Aziz is being set free after the trial and all. So that it was a celebration which was going on in Chandrapur. Okay, but Ronnie, he grew tempered with this. See, he felt so ashamed that he was broken with his temperament, and what he has done is that he cancelled the engagement with Adela. Actually, it was not a problem for Etella. We know that she has decided this earlier itself by seeing the character of Ronnie. Anyway, Ronnie decided not to marry Adela because of Adela, he has got a lot of problems. He was ashamed. Mm. And see, at this time, let me tell one more thing, that at this time of accusation, at the time of trial, our Moore, Mrs. Moore, she was also thinking good about our Dr. Aziz, and she always offended that she told her son that, see, Aziz can't do that. Aziz is not such a person and all. But by hearing this, Ronnie was, she feared that his mother may help out this Dr. Aziz, and she will make the things vulgar, and see, he can't put our Aziz into trial and all. So what he do is that, I told you, he's a cruel person. What he do is that he sent his mother back to England. Okay, and actually she was not happy with that. She don't want to go back, but he forces her to go back to England, and he arranges it. And on her way back to England, in that voyage itself, Mrs. Moore is dying. She's not reaching England. She dies in that voyage. So this is happening in between the story. Okay, so we can find that such a good person, Mrs. Moore is. She till her last breath, she talks for Indian native, or we can say that she's very sincere in her relationships, and she's very, see, we can find that she's a good, kind person in her, inside her. So that's why she is talking for an Indian native, okay, by rejecting and by by taking the fury or the anger of her own son and daughter. So likewise, anyway, on her voyage back to England, she dies. Okay, so this is happening. And now that Adela, she is alone here. She is, and Ronnie, he is so furious on her. And Fielding is the person who gives her shelter. Now that Adela is, it's tough for her to stay back in India, and she was planning to go back to England, and she says that, say, Indians are being in India is a little bit confused for her, because it's a lot of agitations are going on in her mind, and she want to go back to England. So by this, Fielding understands that if Adela is being sent alone, she can't go back with a good way. So he was feared about Ronnie and all. So what he do is that Mr. Fielding, he gave shelter to Adela in his own home till her travel back to England is been confirmed. Okay, and by this particular incident, see, we know Aziz is disliking Adela in such a way that see, so see, the Fielding is helping her out. So this particular practice of Fielding is annoying Aziz, and Aziz don't want his friend to help out Adela, a girl like Adela, who was the reason for all his sufferings, and he had lost a lot of his say time in this all these things, and his not only his time, his reputation, all these things were hurt by this girl. So he was just disliking her, and along with that, he started to dislike whom Fielding also. That Fielding is helping out such a girl. Okay, and there comes a break between the friendship, the thick friendship between Aziz and Fielding. Fielding is not having any problem with Aziz, but Aziz feels that Fielding is cheating him and cheating with his friendship, and he is not keeping up his word on friendship and all. Okay, and now that we can find that Adela and Aziz in a see both sorry not Adela so Aziz, Adela and Fielding are going back to England. So Fielding decides that he will accompany Adela, and it's not right to send her alone back to England. So he just decides to accompany Adela to England. So this is the reason why Fielding is going back to England. But as Fielding goes back to England, our Dr. Aziz confirms that, yeah, Fielding is having some soft corner towards Adela, and he started loving her, and he's gonna marry her and all. Okay, so such things are going through the mind of Aziz. And Aziz confirms by this that when this our Fielding is accompanying Adela to England. By this action, Aziz confirms that, yeah, Fielding is gonna marry her and he's gonna settle over there in England, and he's not at all concerned with my friendship and all. Okay, so such a breakage is happening, and by this, a short interval is being taken in the novel and of 2 years. Okay, so as Fielding goes back to England, Adeline Fielding goes back to England, then Aziz, he moves to a new place from Chandrapur, that is a place known as Mao. Okay, a Mao. So I told you at first he was in a place where a mosque is there, and all these things had happened. Then comes cave is there. That is cave. The incident has finished. Now the last part, that is Mao. Mao is a place where a temple is there. It's a Hindu dominating place where temples are there and Hindus are dominating over there. And our Dr. Aziz, he's opting to stay back there. He has changed his place to Mao. By this itself, we can find that how Indians are living. That is, culture mingling is happening in Indians, how they are accepting regardless of religion and all. See, Aziz, a doctor of a Muslim doctor, is staying in Hindu dominated place. So, and he is comfortable there. So but all these things are being set in such a way to express that is E.M. Forster wanna express that see Indian culture is such a mingling one. See, they are not having any issue to be in one's culture and to be get adjusted in others and all. So it was a surprising thing for E.M. Forster actually, that how people could manage that is from different culture and from different places and from different belief, they could accommodate others. So here also that we can find that Dr. Aziz is he has completely transformed now. He is a person who has transformed completely his ideas, his notions, his acceptance and accommodation of white people in his mind. All these things transformed. Now he is a new person. Okay, and again he has transformed his place also to our that is to Mao, a new place where Hindu dominant people are there. And now that, so now 2 years spent, okay, 2 years spent, and after 2 years, what happens is that, as I told you, Aziz is staying in Mao and he's staying there in a very comfortable way. And now he's a transformed person. Now we can see a changed Aziz with a patriotism in him, with a Aziz who's a freedom fighter against the British Raj. Okay, so now Aziz is completely disliking the British people and he want to make a wipe off all the whites from India and he want to take back India as the pure India without any mixture of British Raj or English people. So this is a transformation of Aziz. See, just see the first portion of our novel when what was the concept of Aziz and how he has changed due to all the incidents. See, not only due to Adela, he's taking such a position. See, Adela, it was a reason for putting him exposed to all other British people and their rule over India, how they are making two different rules for Indians and for British Raj. They are carrying out two different rules. The Indians, if they are doing a little bit of any they are committing any mistake, then they are given big punishments. And but in the case of white, they are giving another rule, they are keeping another rule, and there's a discrimination which is happening. And also their attitude towards the natives, that is when he was there, when he was he had undergone the trial and all, he could understand that what sort of people this white are. And now he is a position that he is a good freedom fighter and he wanna wipe off all the white people from India, and he's such a patriotic person. So we can find the transformation of Aziz now. Okay, and after these 2 years, Aziz find that Fielding came back to Mao to see Aziz. Okay, Fielding came back from England with his wife and his brother-in-law. And Aziz is surprised to see because Aziz believed that he has went there to marry Adela and all. But he's surprised to see that he has married Stella. Okay, another girl called Stella Moore. Who is Stella Moore? Stella Moore is none other the daughter of Mrs. Moore, or we can say that the sister of Ronnie. So it was that he went back there and he went to the he visited the family of Moore. We know that Mrs. Moore she has died, and we know all these stuffs, isn't it? And he went to Stella and he married her, and he take the responsibility of Ralph Moore, the small brother of Stella. Okay, that is the brother to Ronnie. Ronnie is there here in India itself. Okay, so these two people are there alone. So Fielding is such a good guy. He went there and visited the family, and he married Stella, and he took back Ralph Moore also with them, his small brother-in-law. Okay, so by seeing this, our Aziz felt very much repentant, and he told that he is very sorry for all these things. And we can find that these two, both Aziz and Fielding, are reconciled. Okay, a reconciliation can be seen between this Aziz and Fielding. So both are very happy now, and it was a time of festival at Mao, the place Mao, that a good festival was going on there. And Ralph Moore was taken to the festival by Aziz, and such a way that their friendship is being grown again. Okay, and finally, we can see that both in the last scene of the novel, we can see that both Aziz and Fielding both are going for a ride, and in that ride, Fielding was suggesting to have a good friendship between the West. See, this particular ride is this particular conversation should be taken as the generalization of Western and Eastern. See, Fielding is the representation of Western people, the goodness in the Western, and Aziz is the representation of the goodness in the Eastern. Okay, so these two are going for a ride, and in that ride, Fielding gives a suggestion of a friendship between as a solution for all the issues. Fielding keeps that as a suggestion that the friendship between the Western and Eastern, or the friendship between them, that is Fielding and Aziz, will be the only solution for the whole issues which is going on. But our Aziz is answering that. What Aziz is answering. So what Fielding is telling, Fielding is asking them to have a friendship between British Raj and Indians. Okay, Western and Eastern. But the answer given by Fielding is that, sorry, Aziz is that, the last line, let me read it. Okay. Fielding and I cannot be good friends until India becomes free from British Raj. Okay, so what's the answer? That he's telling that yeah, obviously there could be a friendship between in Eastern and Western, but until and unless British Raj is going away from here and giving the complete freedom for Indians. So this is the answer which Aziz is giving. So this is the answer which E.M. Forster is getting from India, that we Indians, the people of India, need freedom first. Okay, they need their country first, then they are ready for the sharing of culture, or then they are ready for sharing anything. But the whole power should be given back to India itself. This is the greatest message which E.M. Forster is giving, and this is actually a voice for India which E.M. Forster is raising. That Indians need, what Indians need is not civilization, or is not the Western civilization, which Western people thinks that it is good, which is good, or which is the real culture. But in what Indians need is first, they need is freedom. The freedom from the complete free country for them to live there as their own and to carry on their own rich culture. Okay, and after that, after giving the freedom only, they are in a mood to share their culture, to share whatever, or to get educated, or to get cultured or civilized, or whatever stuffs may be. But the freedom is the first thing. The independence, that is the rule over them, should be stopped by the British people. This is the first thing which a British people should, or the British government should understand. So this is actually, this particular novel is not written by an Indian. Okay, think about it. It is written by an English person, that is an English man called E.M. Forster. He, by staying back in India, he could sense that Indians, what they want is freedom first. Then they are ready to share their culture. Then they are ready to have a friendship with them. So that's the core meaning of what Aziz, Dr. Aziz is answering as the last lines of the novel. Okay, so here we can see that the difficulty of West East relationship is shown here, unless and until there's a freedom for Indians. Okay, so then the incident inside the cave. Okay, we know that the incident inside the cave actually shows the prejudices of Englishmen and on Indians. That is how far that is when a confusion comes there, when Adela feels some dizzy and all, she has got the prejudice inside there her that she is a she is with a Indian, and see he will be having he's a savage person or uncivilized. That such a notion is there inside her. That's why she's thinking she could relate her dizziness and her agitation and all towards such a sexual assault and all. Okay, see, so that's just because of the prejudice inside her, which is making her to think so. And so that is there. The next thing which you have to know in this novel is that Aziz had to face a lot of racial tensions. That's another thing. Okay, we can find a racial tension which was undergone by Aziz when he was accused by Adela and when he was undergoing trial. Okay, a lot of racial tension that he belongs to a different race, that is Indian natives. They are dark people, and the whites on the other end, and they are accusing him, they are making fun of him, they are putting arrows upon his mind and his or everything. He's not been respected. See, regardless of his even though he's a doctor, he's a physician, he's educated person. Okay, see, towards him, even towards him, the British people are see, are having such a wrong attitude. Then what will be the attitude towards the poor people, those who are illiterate or those who are not having such a catch in the society? See, just think about it. So this was the situation of India. So this racial tension which we experience at that time is being expressed or picturized here by E.M. Forster in a very good way. Okay, then comes the novel actually tries to bring about the interaction between the people. Okay, the white and the natives. That can be seen here. See, right from the starting, if we are looking at the novel, we can find that E.M. Forster is making a good mood at the beginning, that all the Hindus and Muslims and also the white people, there's a communion among them. We can find a communion among them, and they are mingling each other, they are interacting in a very good way, they are taking the suggestions and they are accepting it. Okay, so all these things are happening. So there's a communion there. Then as the thing, so that's a sort of interaction. And another sort of interaction is the interaction of Ronnie and other British people towards the natives. Okay, that we can't set aside or ignore, because that was the more thing which was happening. So actually, for Dr. Aziz, we can find that as Dr. Aziz was respected by a little bit of people, white people, he felt like, yeah, British people are not bad, Englishmen are good in them, so many are good. See, we are having a prejudice and all. But as he was caught in a problem and he had a bitter experience, he could realize that how far these people are bad in there or are having a materialistic attitude in them. See, they don't have any values or spiritual values in them. They just are having some materialistic notion or a materialistic attitude, or their expectations and their intentions are just materialistic, or they are just profit oriented. They are in need of some purpose, and that's why they are here, and they are behind that. They don't have any other piece of humanity or place for values which could that is values which could give respect for a human being, especially for a doctor like Aziz. Okay, so such things are showing the interaction of See, we can see two types of interaction. That is how white people are interacting towards the Indian natives. And again, we can find another interaction that is among the Indians, that is regardless of their religion and their variety or diversity in their culture, they are mingling, they are interacting in such a good manner that see, we can find that when Aziz, Dr. Aziz is let set free from all these things, we can find that Dr. Aziz is that particular situation is being celebrated by the whole Chandrapur. Okay, the whole Chandrapur, the people of Chandrapur are celebrating it. So they are happy from their mind that one of them is being set free. So that is the oneness feeling of Indians which is being expressed here. The interaction of people, the love, the attitude of the people among Indians are being shown here by E.M. Forster. Okay, then yeah. So Indian culture is being presented here very beautifully. Okay, we can find that either every culture of India that when see just think about Dr. Aziz when he felt annoyed or when he felt offended by the words of Adela from the cave, he controls his temperament. He's not expressing it, and for that he is managing it just to recover himself. He is just setting back. See, that's a culture. That's a actual real personality culture or the culture which he is showing. Okay. Then another thing is that he's very loyal to the ladies and he's taking them in a very good manner. He's accompanying them, and when Adela is not being seen there for a little while, he is just you see he's just disturbed because he is responsible from his side. That's the reason. See, he feels himself responsible for these two ladies, and he was just see disturbed, and he starts to he was tensed when Adela is not being seen. So this shows that that tension which was experienced by Dr. Aziz shows that he is quite responsible. That is also a culture which he has been revealing. So likewise through Dr. Aziz, we can find that the Indian culture is being picturized here by E.M. Forster in a very good manner. Okay, and again the culture of Western, the goodness of the Western. He also wanted to show the world that Western people are having goodness in them, and that's why Fielding is being set as the embodiment of the goodness of Western culture. And again, E.M. Forster has never forgotten that the government and the officials who are managing the imperialism, who are managing the colonies in the colonized places, are cruel enough, are very rude towards the natives of that particular area. So that's why he has set a character like Ronnie, who is an official, who is so cruel and who has got no room for humanity inside him. So such a person is also set as character here. So all these people are very important in this novel who shows the expressions of different cultures. Okay. So we can find that this particular novel is a give and take of culture, or it is a presentation of culture of this Indian culture and Western culture together. Okay, and E.M. Forster finds the gulf between, as we are talking this, he also finds a gulf between Indian and Western culture. So he finds that the solution, he thinks that the only solution to bridge the gulf between Western and Indian culture is that, or we can say that Western or Eastern culture is only friendship between them. Okay, so the friendship is the only solution which E.M. Forster is finding as a solution for the bridging of the gulf between Eastern and Western culture. Okay, So this much is all about the novel. I think the novel is quite simple. It is easily understandable, and anyway, let us discuss about the themes of the novel. Okay. So here, first and foremost theme which you can write here in the essay is that the theme of friendship. Okay, friendship as the solution to complex political issues. So he's telling that here through this novel, E.M. Forster is expressing the solution to the complex political issues which India was facing at that time. He is finding a solution for such a political issue. And he's telling that the only solution is friendliness, friendship between Eastern and Westerns. Okay, and the answer given by Aziz, we know that, isn't it? See, we need freedom first, then only friendship will be made. This is the answer given by Aziz. So the theme is of friendship. Then we can see the characters establishing friendship. As I told earlier, we discussed is that is who and all are establishing the theme of friendship. First and foremost is the friendship between Aziz and Field. This is a very thick friendship which we can see right from the beginning to the end of the novel, that both are having a very thick friendship, that is from heart they are having that feeling of friendship. And we can find that after 2 years even after 2 years, Fielding is coming back to visit Aziz. Okay, and Fielding is helping him out in his hard times and all, we can find it. Okay, then next is the friendship between Aziz and Mrs. Moore. Okay, Aziz and Mrs. Moore. We know that what happened inside the mosque. Okay, Mrs. Moore is building a friendship between Moore and Aziz. Okay, and Moore is such a good person. We know that she is an embodiment of goodness in Western culture. Then comes next is the we can find that though these people were unable to bridge their cultural and political differences, despite that affection as human beings for one another could be seen. See, we know that. See, there's despite their political differences, that is, one is English and other is whether it is Fielding or Moore, a political difference is there. Their nationality is different, that is they comes from British England, or they are British people, and the Dr. Aziz is an Indian. So despite this political difference, they could make a friendliness in the name of humanity as a human relationship. Okay, so this is the friendship theme which we were discussing. And also we can find they are considering the relationship of the natives, especially those among the people of different culture and varieties of different religion and varieties of culture. We can find that even regardless of all these diversities, they are having a thick friendship inside them. They feel a oneness in them. So the friendship among the people can could be also seen, that is among the native peoples of Indian people of Indian could be seen here in the novel. Okay. Then another thing is in the novel, many a times we come across the love and support which Aziz gets from his Hindu friends. That's very important. That is, Hindu friends are giving him all the love and support when he was in his hard times and all. So that is something which should be pinpointed here. Okay, that's also a noteworthy friendship. Okay, then these are this gives a message that understanding, that is friendship is the best thing which can build up a thick or a strengthened relationship between anybody, regardless of any diversity. So here E.M. Foster is along with picking up the culture and expressing the culture, he is adding a suggestion and putting a suggestion back to the Indians, the people of India, that see, if we are ready to wipe off all the misunderstandings among us, regardless of the religion, the diversities in the religion, in the culture, in the language, in the way of that is everything. We know that there's a lot of diversities in India. Regardless of all these diversities, if we are ready to accept the understand, we are ready to make an understanding between the relationship of people or among the relationships of people, then we could build up a strength inside us which could never be broken by any of the forces in the world. So, this is a message which E.M. Foster is leaving back to we Indians in this novel. Okay, and he is giving other suggestions, and he's raising voice against other themes and all. But here a theme is there which we Indians has to imbibe or absorb and take in. Okay, then the second one is a critic of second theme is a critic of imperialism. Okay, so here we can find that uh, this novel is actually a criticism against the imperial power and imperialism that we know. Okay, so it tries to question against the empire that is the British Empire. Here, E.M. Foster is raising voice against the British Empire, who is the empire is presented as a racist here, a racist institution. Okay, the empire is an embodiment of a racist institution who is very indifferent towards the natives of India, and they are exploiting. Actually, they are controlling the people of India. They who are innocent, and they are exploiting the richness of India, which is actually the honors of this richness is Indians, and actually their richness is being or our richness is being exploited by the British Raj. So here, E.M. Foster is bringing forth or exposing the harsh hands of imperialist empire of Britain. Okay, so this has been done by E.M. Foster. And the empire has been found responsible for creating the whole disharmony in India. Okay, so and empire, the whole British Raj is the only reason he says that he openly says through the novel that British Raj is the only reason who is making all the disharmony in India and making breakage among the relationship between India, and they are just actually disregard of the culture of India. They are putting down the culture, and they are just suppressing the people of India. So this particular secret or hidden thing which is going on, which is reality, is being expressed or called out by E.M. Foster to the world through his novel. So here we can see the realism. Okay, the reality is being called out by the writer E.M. Foster, and he says that he accuses that in English empire is the only reason for the disharmony which is being created inside the Indian country, India. So the empire and its atrocities against the Indian natives is being very effectively pinpointed here. And the next theme which we can see is there. So the second theme which we discussed is the critique of imperialism. Next theme is a cave, the cave as a symbol. Okay, actually the cave is we know that incident in the cave, what happened, that is Adela went there, and Adela, Moore and Dr. Aziz went there, and Moore was not able to enter, even she is not able to enter the cave. Okay, and Adela, she's confused with all the prejudices inside her mind and all the thoughts inside her mind, and she takes she takes something very mean impression is being taken inside her, and she is running away from there. Actually, what is cave? The cave is an echoing. Actually, cave, inside the cave we can find a lot of sounds are echoing. So the cave is the representation of Indian culture. Okay, we know that see, in India we have got a lot of culture. It's a mixture of lot of culture over here, and so for a Western person who cannot accommodate this mixture of culture, it feels like entering a cave which is echoing a lot of sounds there. Okay, so that's why Moore or this lady Adela couldn't enjoy the. Actually, many people are coming there. They're enjoying the cave. It's a place. Malabar Cave is a place. It's a tourism place where people enjoy. They are taking the culture of. They are enjoying the ways and culture and the inside scriptures which are being drawn inside. All these things are enjoyed. Actually, it's a place for enjoyment, but they can't take the enjoyment. They are just confused. See, even Moore couldn't enter because she can't get adjusted in this diversity of the echoing of sounds. Many different sounds are coming out of the cave, so that diversity couldn't be accommodated by Moore. Then when it comes to Adela. See, Adela is not also not able to accommodate herself all these diverse sounds or different sounds which are coming out of the cave, and but she is showing her courage and she's entering inside because of her enthusiasm, we may say, and she's entering inside and she could find that she is totally confused, and she is coming to a conclusion which is closely relating to her notions or prejudices which she is having about the people of India. That is, they are savage people and uncivilized. And what will happen for a girl like her, a beautiful girl like her, alone with such a person, and all these notions will be there inside her, and she feels like, see, he has assaulted me sexually. So these are the notions inside her which actually doesn't happen, and it feels like happening inside her. So this is because she can't take the variety of culture at a time in her. So she can't accommodate it, and she is coming to a result. She's coming to a conclusion which is which the conclusion which is giving support with her prejudices in her. Okay, so the cave is a actually it's a Indian cultural expression. That's a theme which we can see through the cave as a symbol here. Then fourth one is the discrimination of Indians in their own land. That is the another theme. That is the discrimination of Indians in their own land. See, we can see this very clear by the incident which undergone by the trial and the accusation and the trial undergone by Dr. Aziz is very clear that how Indians are being treated, how the rule is being set for Indians and how the rule is being set for English people. Both are different, two kinds are there. Okay, and so there's a discrimination for people of India in their own land, and we know that Aziz is being arrested and put in trial for just a wrong accusation, just because before investigating properly or before asking the person who is accused, the accusing person, and about the thing in a proper way, they are just arresting him and they are putting him to trial and all. So all these things are happening. See why? Because see, no respect is given for Indians. That's why. Because see, before arresting they could have asked her properly, asked and inquired the thing in a proper way, but it was not done. Just after listening that, as they listen that somebody is doing wrong and Indians are doing wrong, then they'll be taken and arrested and they'll be tortured and they'll be presented to trial and subjected to trial and all. So this is happening. So there's a discrimination. Then, and we can see that even though Fielding, he's keeping on defending and telling that, see, Aziz is innocent, he won't do that, you have to think through it and all, but it's not happening. So, regardless of all these things, see, all his voices are, or voices he raised, he's an English person, and all the voices he raised against the British Raj is being just neglected or ignored by them. They are not checking it. So this shows that this is because the accused person is an Indian. That's the only reason. So it is a discrimination which is being shown there. So actually, why E.M. Forster has made or bring forth such a situation in the novel to show that there's two kinds of laws inside India which British Raj is carrying on. See, actually, the reason is that E.M. Forster, once, as I told you, he was the person who came to India and he lived here and he got a first-hand experience from India, and he had an experience. He was there when Jallian Bala Bagh was going on in India in 1919. We know that. Okay. And it was just, see, it was a sort of cheating, or it was a sort of, say, it was a really an imposed rule upon Indians, and it was totally, what to say, we can say that it was an animal like approach which British Raj has taken against we Indians at that time. We know the history of Jallianwala Bagh. We can't even see, we can't think about it, what happened at that time, how people suffered, how they were being shooted without giving them any way for running around, and how they were closed inside that whole wall and all, and they were shooted, and completely how people were, see, many of them suicided by jumping inside the well, and all such atrocities were happened. We know that it was such a pathetic thing which happened in India. And at this time, E.M. Forster was there and he had the first hand experience on this particular thing. And he found that there was a kind of double standard played by British. Okay, he understood it that the British was playing a double standard, and so he wanted to expose this particular double standard play of British Raj inside India, and this is the only reason why he has picturized such a see, he has see, set such an issue. A very mean issue was taken, that is a girl accusing, and a very reputed person like Dr. Aziz is being accused and trialed, and how British Raj is approaching, or how they are, their attitude towards him and all is being very clearly picturized in this novel to show the whole world that how the British Raj or the empire is showing double standard in their rule in India. Okay, so and even in the courtroom, he has presented the courtroom in a very beautiful manner to just which picturizes or depicts the real discrimination which is happening there. That is, we can find that the whole white people are in the part of Adalla, supporting Adalla's supporters, and the whole deities are the supporters of or Aziz. So such a discrimination, and how the white people who claim that they are civilized and they are educated and or how they are supporting Adela, and how they feel ashamed when Adela herself confesses that she has told a false, or she was fault in her, or she has committed a fault in her own way. Okay, so this shows that how the discrimination was happening for the Indians inside their own country by the British Raj. Okay, Then the fourth theme is that nationalist spirit of Indians. We can find the nationalist spirit of Indians here. That is the another theme, very important theme. We know that there are a lot of, as Indians, we know that there were a lot of nationalist spirit Indians who lived at that time. And it is just because of them that we are enjoying the freedom today as Indians, free India, and their sacrifice and their bloodshedding, all these things we know that how far they were very spirited freedom fighters and all. Here also, this particular theme, this particular culture or this particular Indian aspect is being imbibed and picturized here in this novel also, that we can find the main thing is the kind of transformation found in Dr. Aziz. Dr. Aziz, as we know at the first portion of the novel, we can find that he is an admirer of British Raj, and we can find that he is a British colonial Indian. Okay, we can call him as a British colonial Indian who supports, who admires British people and all. And then we can find how he is moving out of this decision and he is becoming a part of free Indian movement. Okay, and we can find that transformation which is happening in our that is Dr. Aziz, and how he is becoming a nationalist freedom fighter, and how he is showing his spirit of an Indian through this novel. And we know that the sharp answer which he is giving, the very strengthened answer which he is giving for the question or for the suggestion of Fielding, who keeps to forward in front, who keeps in front of Aziz, that is, couldn't we have a friendship as a solution for all the political issue which is happening in India? That is, uh, couldn't we have a friendship between the Western and Eastern? At that time, what he's answering? He's answering that yeah, we can have a friendship until, that is, we can't have a friendship until what happens, India is completely free from British Raj. So first we want is freedom. Then we are ready for every friendship and every other things which comes after that. So that answering shows that we find that, see, there's a reconciliation happening. See, before, in between, as Fielding goes back to British England, and along with Adela, and 2 years is taking, and we find that that's a transformation of Dr. Aziz to a nationalist struggler, freedom struggler, and all. And then we find that as Fielding is coming back, they are reconciled, and we may feel that yeah, now he may leave all this freedom fight and all, and they both are going for a ride, and with the friendly manner itself, Fielding is asking him or suggesting him to keep a friendship between them. But we can see that how deeply rooted the freedom struggle or the nationalist spirit is there inside Aziz, that he is not forgetting his responsibility of being a spirited nationalist, and he is answering to the point in a very good manner. Okay, so these are the themes about the novel. So we have discussed four themes. Don't forget to write it. Okay. And again, let me remind you about the three symbols. Okay. The three symbols, that is mosque, cave, and temple. And another thing which I have to add is that, as I told you, the first portion of the novel is in the mosque, and we can find all the happenings are around the mosque. And at that time, the weather, there's a weather difference is also there. Ian Foster is giving an effect of weather, that is giving more expression for the emotions or the incidents and events which are happening in the novel. So in the first portion of Mosque, we can find that the weather is a cool weather, a pleasant weather could be found there, And we can find the happenings are also a cool manner. That is a friendliness is there among all these white people, and Muslims and Hindus all are in a friendly manner. They are planning for a picnic and all. Till then we can find the first portion. Okay, that is the portion of mosque, and the weather is cool. Okay, and happy and cool happenings are happening there. Then come the cave. Okay, cave shows the weather is hot there. Because why the weather is being told as hot? Because the incident which is happening is a serious incident. It is a crucial incident which is happening in the novel. It's the most crucial incident of the novel, and we know that that's the turning point of the novel. And so the weather is kept as a warm weather, or not warm, hot weather. And so the portion of cave, we can find that it's a hot weather. Then comes temple, and this is the last portion of the novel. There we can see the portion of Mao. Okay, there the temple is coming, and they see how the people of Mao is accepting Dr. Aziz, and Dr. Aziz there as a freedom fighter, a struggler, and all, a nationalist person with a nationalist movement with him and all. So the last part is being titled as temple because it's a dominant place. That is temple is there, and a dominant place over there is the Hindus are dominant there. But the thing is set as rainy season there. Okay, because the characters are undergoing a little bit of sufferings, and till then the characters were going a little bit of sufferings. That is after the cave, the trial, and all it coming, and all these sufferings are being settled in the temple portion. Okay, so all the confusions, there is trial, confusions, and all these things are being settled when we come to the temple portion, and it shows that that is rainy season because we see the downpour is the all the things, all the happenings ഒരു മഴ പെയ്ത് ചോരുക എന്ന് പറയില്ലേ, that effect is there in that last portion. That is the after a rain pour, a heavy rain pour, we can find that a settled mood in the last portion of the temple. Okay, so there, so that's the end of the, that is that the novel is put to an end by bringing solace to the people with a downpour. Okay, so the weather is downpour. So the weather has got much to talk about here. See, first is a cool weather. There we can find that it's a cool relationships and cool events are happening. And the incident of cave, that is the mosque. Then incident of cave, we can find that see every it's a hot weather where every false incidents are happening, wrong happenings are happening, crucial incidents are going on, and trial, all these things are going on. It's a hot. Okay, then comes temple, and it's the cool down pour, so not cool down pour, that is everything is settling, all these confusions are settled. Okay, so this is all about the novel. And now it will be easy. So all these things are written in your study material. Now you have to read your study material. Now you have got a good platform or a base to learn your more about the novel. And I think you can make, now you can write it in a good way and confident. And so, but what you have to do is that you have to do your portion. That is, your job is to learn, read more. That is, reading this study material is enough. Then you can prepare good essays out of it, and you can attempt your exam. Hope we have done it. Now you can, if there is any doubt, you can clear your doubt. Okay.
Hi, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Jasmine here. Ma'am, I just had a doubt about our assignments. When we write assignments related to the questions from the novel,
Yeah.
do we need to write about the language forms if it is not even asked? If it is only about the plot or the character, do we still need to emphasize on the literary devices and the forms or genre
Yeah,
written about?
sure, sure. See, whenever you're answering, see, I told you, no, see, the questions will be asked about plot, or even the questions will be asked about the theme or character. See, at that time, you have to answer by keeping all these stuffs inside your answer, because see, it's relate the whole thing which is being asked is related to the genre, isn't it? That is the whole novel is being asked. So you have to put the incidents over there. You can put examples. Even the dialogues should be if you want to do in a good manner. You can even take some dialogues or some cuttings from the novel and put it there, and prove that what your answer is going on. And see, first, as I told you, the way of answering, Jasmine, I think you were not there in many of my classes. That's why. See, I always used to tell that whatever questions you get, you what you have to do is that first you have to disclose that which question is it, from which particular genre it is coming, or in which particular novel it is being taken, and which era it is, who has written it, and all. So the first introduction part should be such a one. Okay, and after that you have to answer to the question. Okay, what the question is about. See, you can answer that, if it is been asked for about the plot, you can tell that how the plot is being set, the how the characters are been going on the plot and all. You can just answer it. Okay, or if it has been asked about the theme, you can talk about the different themes which are being expressed through this novel, and there are such and such themes, and see, you can make a body of your essay. And along with your comments of on the theme, you have to place many incidents from the novel, the stories, as anecdotes. Okay, take the incidents, take many incidents which will support your answer, and just talk about the characters and incidents inside your essay while you're writing. That's very, very much needed, because references are needed. See, it is also, see, whenever you are preparing for a research paper and all, see, reference is the most important thing in order to prove as an evidence that what you are talking is right, what you are writing here, or what you are trying to express here is right, and you need some evidence for that, isn't it, to show that you are in a right way, your justification or your criticism is the real one, or it's the proper one. And in order to pinpoint that, you have to take the anecdotes from the genre, and you can place it there. Okay, and you can present it there. So that's why I'm telling that, see, you have to prepare an essay in such a way that whichever thing may I ask about the novel could be taken from that essay. See, you can bring it to that essay. See, first you have to answer that from which question, which lesson it is being taken, that is, which novel it is being asked and all. And you can just talk about the era, that is, in which era or a literary period it is being set. And you can just talk about the writer, what sort of writer he is, what is his attitude and all. And in the next paragraph onwards, you have to answer to the question, and the question should be answered in such a way that you are answering to the question, but in the question answer, all these things should come. Okay, so it's well that you prepare an essay before before attempting the exam itself. You just prepare it from your home, an essay which has got all the points, all the critical points inside it, about the characters, about the plot, about the theme. So whenever any one of this is being asked, you can just move through this, travel through all these things, and come to the one which is being asked. That's how you have to answer a PG question. Because see, you have to answer for 20 marks. Okay, 20 marks. Your answer should be worth for 20 marks. Okay, so you should need that stuff enough to pack up all these things. So that you can make it only in such a way. I think the answer is clear. Is there any more questions? See, while and writing the assignment itself, you have to see do it in a loyal manner so that it will be easy for you. See, there will be many answers which you can get from the net and all. You can get the answers for the questions actually. Please don't copy and write these things by from other sources. See, it will be well that you prepare the thing by yourself and write it, because it will help you a lot in your examination. Okay, because the questions of the assignment will be very much resembling the question paper which will be presented for you. Okay, anything more? Okay, guys, I think we have done it. Okay, so tomorrow let's meet again with our last book. I think we have finished everything now. We have gone through the poetry, then we have finished our MEG4 language and literature. Sorry, not language and linguistics. Then now we have finished the eighth book of our British novel, and the last one, that is ninth one, is there. And most probably a 10th session will be also there, because this is the eighth session which is going on, and tomorrow it will be the ninth session. And most probably I'll be planning for a 10th one, in which you may clear your whole problems and whole issues which you may come across. So by that time I would suggest you to bring forth all the doubts which you possible doubts. Okay, from any one of these three genres, that is novel, poetry, or language and linguistic, you may ask, because it will be the last session. That is an open session for you to discuss, an open platform and giving for a discussion manner. See, so you have to talk there. I'll be answering. Okay, and if and all I'm not able to answer at that time, I'll connect to you later. So please do attend that particular session also. Okay. So thank you. Goodbye. Stay safe.